it's Andrew here, and welcome to another episode of Scrub Review. And today we're reviewing another Australian-based company called Dr Woof, who I believe was started by a group of vets, which is interesting. I think there's many scrub companies that are actually started by doctors. Seems to be like nurses, most of all, and others as well.
Healthcare professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm joined by my dear friend and colleague, Dr Irene. Thank you for joining us, Irene.
Thank you.
And Irene, you're usually a fan of figs. I understand you have a number of figs sets.
Yep.
So that's the comparator for you, really.
Yes.
So do you wear scrubs every day at work? Is that something normal here and back in the Philippines where you trained as well?
Well, back in the Philippines, we're kind of a bit of the old school. So majority of the doctors, even inpatients in hospitals and clinics, we still dress up. However, I've been seeing a trend when it comes to a lot of the healthcare workers, not just doctors, but nurses and different teams wearing scrubs. And I won't blame them because they're very comfortable.
Very comfortable.
When I came here to Australia, I've noticed that there's a bunch of doctors as well. They're majority wearing scrubs over dressing up. And I've learned to switch up between scrubs and formal clothes if necessary. Like if it's a COVID ward, then definitely I'll do the scrubs. If it's a long shift, scrubs. Then if it's not, if it's a light day, then I'll probably just dress up.
Absolutely. And I think we're seeing that COVID has shifted that standard of clinical attire to being like scrubs are now a very acceptable option for hygiene reasons. And now there's so many options like Dr Woof, like figs, like others, so that you can still look and feel confident as a professional whilst being comfortable and hygienic at the same time. That's great. So in terms of colours, you've got, is this a grey or a graphite or something?
Grey?
Shadow grey.
Yeah, shadow grey.
Not dark grey, shadow grey.
Shadow grey,
Shadow grey top, black pants. And that's partly because the joggers didn't come in the shadow grey.
Yes. Unfortunately, I would have loved it if it came with the same color as well. Yep.
And this one is cool grey.
Yep.
Cool grey.
Cool grey.
It's kind of like a blue.
Gray.
It's a blue with a grey mixed together. Maybe that's that cool blue.
Cool grey.
It's a bit of a unique colour in that it's almost like the kind of lighter grey that I've seen from some of the other companies like Scrub Lab.
Hint of blue.
Yeah, but it's got that hint of blue. So marks for creating like unique colours. I think that's a positive. And even the shadow grey, I haven't seen many that are that particular shade of grey. Easier to come up with a blue, easier to come up with a navy, easier to come up with a black, but some unique colours there. Compared to figs, how do you find the Dr Woof? What are the things that you like? What are the things that are different, but maybe neutral? What are the things that you don't like as much?
Well, first I'd like to start off with how amazing this kind of cotton or material that they use. I've noticed that they also use 70% polyester with a 24% vegan silk. I've never heard. Vegan silk, fancy.
Vegan silk.
And a 6% spandex. So I guess that would contribute to the stretchiness of.
It's got a little, like it doesn't have a lot of stretch. It's just got that little bit of stretch.
Enough for you to get movement from a different angles. Or if you're in an ED where you're trying to reach something on top of you or at the bottom, then definitely you'll get that stretch. Comfortable enough that it doesn't feel like you're on your workout clothes. And restrictive enough to feel that you got that support as well from head to toe. What I really love about the Dr Woof apparel is that I know as a doctor, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of all the healthcare practitioners as well, that we've got all the busy lives and we want to make sure that when we wash our clothes and our uniforms, it's the least of our worries by the end of the day. And I've noticed that every time I wash this Dr Woof scrubs, they would come out really nicely done. That I don't have to iron them, which is definitely a plus for me.
That's true that I'd say most scrubs, like if you hang them up, they will dry without much crinkling. But I did notice as well that there's still some slight lines from where it was folded. But effectively, that's a good point. I have noticed they don't seem to wrinkle that much at all.
And I think it also has to do with the type of materials that they use. However, I reckon as well, just because I'm the type of person who gets cold really easily, they're quite thinner than your usual scrubs. I think just because some of the majority of the scrubs out there in the market are primarily cotton, which I feel like it's not going to be a suitable material to work with if you're in a very busy environment. When it comes to figs, though, if I compare it with the Dr. Woof, they're much a little bit thicker.
The figs are thicker.
Yeah, figs are thicker.
Agreed. I actually get 2 Warman figs.
Two Warman figs,
day,
yeah.
Whilst I feel like the Dr. Woof one and the Scrub Lab, they're just a medium. They're not too thin, but they're comfortable. So I notice I don't sweat very much in Dr. Woof. But figs, if it's a warm day or I'm doing a procedure for a while with a gown on top, I can start to feel the heat then.
Yep, and I think that's a good point with Dr. Woof Apparel. I think they literally came to think on what things or daily activities the people who's going to be wearing the scrubs would do.
Yeah.
For example, for doctors, we usually have to put a glove on or like a theater gowns.
Yeah.
So I noticed that if I put a theater gown over my Dr. Woof, I don't sweat that much.
Yeah.
Which is good. But that would fix. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. If you're that kind of person who easily sweats.
Watch out. So you've got the tapered pants.
Yep.
I've got the straight leg pants. Just for reference, how tall are you in centimeters?
165.
Yep, and I'm about 187 and a half. So I'm wearing a medium top and I'm wearing large pants. And I find that with most, I need to order large pants for the length as a reasonably tall, lanky person. If I wear medium, they're usually a bit too short. In this case, it's probably, like, even if I take off my shoe, this is probably the longest large that I've seen. I wonder whether I could have got away with the mediums. I don't know. We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
But you've got...
I know I've ordered a medium for pants and for the scrubs as well.
Yeah, so this is a medium for women instead of the tapered. And that looks like a really good length.
It is. I primarily prefer joggers type of pants for scrubs just because they have this really nice ankle brace on the bottom, which I feel like more secure than a loose end because I tend to trip on those. And given that the height, some scrub manufacturers would have 2 types, would be the petite pants and just the regular pants. And I noticed Dr. Woof, I think that's something that they could explore as well.
Having those different cuts. Yeah, that's true. I noticed in terms of the pants, there's got these pockets and they've got a bit of a folder thing, and that seems to catch, like if my wallet or phone tries to slip out, it catches that, which is quite clever. It's got pretty standard other things, the same as like Figs and Airmed and others. They pretty much always have a double pocket on one side and a zip pocket on the other. We've got 2 sets of pockets at the back as well. Do you want to give us a little spin there, Irene?
So there's 2 pockets at the front and then 2 vertical pockets, and then I got 1 on my right hip.
Yeah, really nice. And then I've got a single pocket. It doesn't have, I really like it if they have just that little divider for the pen.
Yes.
My pen just goes places, small detail, just a suggestion for future. And then it's got this like secret pockets here, which I wore it for a day or 2 and I didn't notice, and then later I was just like, whoa, secret pocket. So that's an option. I think I can get a different version that's like a hand warmer. A lower pocket. You've got the other variant which has
2 pockets.
2 pockets that are lower,
which I prefer.
Nothing at the top.
And I think that's also a good point about the pens, because I think that is something that a lot of the market out there is not thinking about for now. So it's a good opportunity.
Pens. I also think having a spot, I really like having my ID tag up here because it's kind of like my name badge. So rather than down on the hip. So again, having a spot to put that is kind of nice. So I think they're really good scrubs, they're good fit. Let's give some ratings. So out of 10, firstly, the kind of comfort and fit. What would you comment and rate?
The comfort of it would definitely be a 9 out of 10. The reservation for that 1 point would be, like I mentioned, generally I'm a person who gets cold easily. And with thin scrubs with Adelaide weather, which is 4 seasons in a day, so sometimes I feel like it's getting too cold and I feel like I have too thin of a scrubs, but comfort-wise, definitely 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's good. I think I'm going to give it an 8. I'd just say it's a little bit long. The top is a good fit. I think they just need a few more options, but they're very comfortable. We were talking in the Airmed video a bit about like how do they compare. If 10 out of 10 is pajamas in terms of comfort, I thought that was a really good comparison for Lauren. Then I'd probably say this is an 8. They're not too far off it. They are very soft, actually softer than some of the others. So that's very comfortable. So maybe 8, 8.5 I'd give it. How do you feel in terms of style and the confidence as a health professional wearing those scrubs?
In terms of style, just to compare it with figs, I feel like just because figs have a thicker material and it has this tendency to feel like it's more finished, definitely I get more of the feeling of professionalism with figs. But with this, however, the comfort is top notch, but when it comes to the professionalism, just because it kind of swings very quickly and it's fluidy, not something that's set and finish. I'd probably rate it around 7. 7 out of 10.
I'd probably have similar feelings. I feel like it looks good, but it's not quite figs, which I think are probably the most kind of stylish, professional looking. They just the fit. So I'm probably going to give this an 8 there. I think it's good, but a little bit room for improvement. And again, with the fit side of things, I think if they had more options for cuts, that would give a potentially be able to stylize or cater to specific body types and shapes and everything better. So that, I'm going to give it an 8 there. So in terms of value for money, this one sits, I'm going to put up a table here. You can see the comparison. So at regular retail price, figs is up at about 135 Australian dollars. And then the Dr Woof and the Jogger Wear and Scrub Lab are all in this kind of 122 to 125 zone. I think the Dr Woof at the 122 mark, so a little bit cheaper, the 3. I feel like they're all comparable in that area, that they're kind of going for the premium scrub thing, a little bit cheaper than figs. I seem to be giving a lot of 8s. I think in terms of value for money, I'd probably give it another 7.5, maybe 8. I think it's like for $122, or if you get them on sale, I think that's a really good option there. Maybe they could be a bit more competitive or offer a bit extra for the same price. Would be the room for improvement. What do you think?
I feel like I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10 as well.
Okay.
Just because if as a consumer, you're also trying to double check what are the available scrubs within those range, and like you mentioned, with figs being up around $20 more, and looking more professional, sometimes you'd be like, maybe I'll just grab a couple of figs and then a couple of
for an extra $10.
For an extra $10.
Yeah.
So. I would agree with the point of trying to get more competitive prices just to get that value.
Yeah, and then so overall rating, what would you give out of 10? I feel like if you average your numbers, you've probably gone around, 8, 7.5, 8,
Yeah, I think I would go for 8, just because the ease of washing scrubs is definitely one of the things that I really consider. And it's wrinkle free when you wash it. It's very light, it's something that I don't have to worry about unless just with this deep V. But other than that, I guess this is a real pretty good scrubs. Actually.
Yeah, I think they're good quality. So I'm probably going to join you with your 8. I was kind of bordering on the 7.5, but you convinced me. The other thing I didn't mention before is this has a zip. Not a big deal for you, but I think it's just Scrub Lab and Dr Woof have a zipper as an option there, and I'd say that's what the difference between 7.5 and 8 is having that zipper. And as a guy, not having to take the whole pants off to go to the bathroom. Big win there. Again, not a big deal for you. And I don't think, I haven't found that they make any of them with a zipper for the female scrub line. But I'm going to say thanks very much. That's very thoughtful. And I think they actually, Dr Woof, have some options for scrubs that are very specific for vets that then are a bit more like, I think pet hair resistant, like the hair comes off without getting stuck to it. So I think that's really thoughtful, and I think you should get some extra points in terms of going with creative scrubs that are more tailored to the vet environment. So that's fantastic. Check out the website, it's a very good website. So thanks Irene for joining, sharing your opinion of Dr Woof, and good job Dr Woof, Australian-based company, and we're looking forward to seeing more offerings and more options and more colours from you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Nice.